Our hope tonight is that tonight will be remembered as that night that one great thing began to happen in this city that we love. My name is Steve Shannon. I am the host of the creatively titled Steve Shannon Show on 97Z OK. Thank you. I have spent several hours trying to position my expectations tonight. When I was asked to be the first person to speak tonight, my first thought was, well, why? Is it because nobody else wanted to go first? Could be. Was it because maybe I'll tell a joke and lighten the room? Truth be told there, nothing funny about why we're here. Is it because I'm great with this thing in front of me? To some degree, I suppose that's true. Or is it because Mike needed a break from talking? That's probably true as well. I moved to Rockford from Greensboro, North Carolina in April of 1995. One of the first places I visited when I moved to Greensboro was an address 132 South Elm Street. That used to be a Woolworth store. It's a museum now. The reason why, in 1960, 4 black college students shopped, then wanted to have lunch at that counter, and they weren't allowed. When I moved here, first weekend in the hotel, I opened the newspaper. The headlines were about the discrimination lawsuit the Rockford School District was currently enduring. The district was eventually found guilty of decades of cruel discrimination against minority students, and I asked, did we learn anything from that? Or did we just get past it? See, for me, was a mile truly walked in another's shoes when we went through all that? You know, that's what it really takes to affect change. I spend morning after morning trying to prepare myself to do the show. Do I completely understand every single aspect of the material before I start flapping my soup coolers in front of a microphone? If I want to make the listener feel something, to stir an emotion, I must get them to walk that mile with me. Tonight, we're going to talk a lot about shared values. Let me share an example of what it shouldn't look like. 2 months after I moved here, I was asked to be a part of a coalition of individuals that would help promote healthy, nutritious lifestyle choices to black students in our schools. It was a big weekend retreat. I was excited. I'd only been here 2 months. I was excited to just be involved. Someone in that hallway actually said to me, Steve, I don't think you're black enough to be a part of this coalition. That's not what it looks like. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what you have or what you don't have. We're here tonight to share one absolute vision. Okay? So tonight, when you hear these talking about shared values, make sure that resonates with you. Like many of you right now, too, I honestly don't know what to expect from all of this, and I can tell you this much. And actually, Tom said this on TV last night. Rockford has conducted 40 studies over the last 25 years in ways to improve our city, and for the most part, we really haven't done much with those studies. We spent a lot of money, but we haven't done much with them. I was asked to come speak, but more importantly, to listen, to acquire knowledge, and strategize with many different people, and not to just come up with a plan to improve this city, but roll our sleeves up and get sweaty. You with me? You with me? Good, good. The greatest thing I ever learned about knowledge is this. Knowledge isn't power. What you do with it is power. That's where it is. And tonight, I'm looking forward to getting me some knowledge and getting to work. As I said, first I want to thank Mike Shablasky for inviting me to be a part of this tonight. Thank you, Mike. I also want to thank Tom Gendron. Thank you for asking me to be here, Tom. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to get to work. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO, Chairman of the Board, and President of Woodward, Mr. Tom Gendron.
This is an amazing group, amazing turnout. I'd like to say welcome and thank you for being here tonight. I have actually a lot of family members here in the community, and a lot of them are here tonight. I thought I was going to need to spike the audience, so that but it doesn't look like we needed that. So what this tells me is there's a passion for Rockford, passion for improvement, and so we appreciate that. We're calling our organization Transform Rockford, and the words are very meaningful. We do believe we need a transformation of the region. So when we're saying that the Rockford, we're really thinking the Rockford region. So every time you hear that, that's what we're thinking is the greater region. Before we get started, I'll go through the agenda in a minute, but I thought you might want to know a little bit how we got started and some history. With starting to get the group together, I'll go, it really we really were looking as we launched the new Woodward facility. I don't know how many of you have driven by or have seen it. It's 440,000 square feet. It's going to be a modern manufacturing facility, and it's going to produce state-of-the-art control systems for aircraft engines. But there's a long history and a transformation story that goes with that, and I think it's critical to hear a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about how to do that with the community. Really, I joined Woodward in 1990, and some of the story goes is I got hired, and I didn't realize till later that I got hired in as a marketing manager, and they had already hired somebody for that job, went, saw some customers, and then quit the next week because of where the company was going. He didn't think there was hope. He didn't think that Woodward could succeed. At the time, I was 29 years old, and I thought, oh yeah, we can succeed, and so I came in there. And with a lot of hard work and things, we saw, and that time was the management team at Woodward saw that we weren't heading in the right direction, and if we didn't change, we were no longer going to be in business in the aircraft world because we were not at the top of the game. So we started a process we called transformation mapping, and the idea was incremental change wasn't going to change the company. We needed wholesale transformational change. And the power of that was we grabbed at the time all the people in Woodward, and I think back then it was probably about 4,000 people together. But what it was is where can we go? And we looked where we were and really took care to say, honestly, where are we in the industry? Where is our business going? And we called that the brutal facts. And we said, is this where we want to end up? And the trend line we were on is, I really do think we would have been non-existent today in that market. So we started this transformation. We put a vision out there to be a market leader. At that time, we were towards the bottom in technology, towards the bottom in market share. We laid that out. The key was not a few people saying this is the direction, but we got the wisdom and the knowledge of everybody in the company, worked together, laid out a new vision, created what we call the transformation map, which documented strategies where we wanted to go. And today, it took a long time, and that's one of the messages too. So today, you look at that 24 years later, I can tell you we're the market leader. We're spending $300 million to build a new building here in Rockford because we've won so much business. Because getting shared vision, alignment of an organization, strategies in place, and everybody engaged and aligned worked. 2 decades, okay? So it doesn't happen overnight, but it works. So getting here tonight, a lot of folks in the community I got talking to after we launched, passion for Rockford, but we were concerned where we are as a community. We don't like the direction, and there was, started talking to more and more people. So over the last, I say, almost 7 months, been talking to people around the community, and we're finding we're not satisfied with the direction of our community. So the idea is that we want to facilitate a community dialogue, transformation process. And what we're going to try and do is what many, many businesses do. We're not the only one that has used a process like this. But we're going to try and take it to holistically look at the community and a transformation plan for the community. And so instead of working with 4,000 to 7,000 people, we're talking about the metropolitan area of 300,000. So this is going to be a challenge. But I think the core of it is a vision, an understanding of where you're coming from, alignment, trust, engagement, and execution on strategies. You can make change. And what we're looking at is you're going to hear today the start of it. But one of the things I'd like to everybody think about is why don't we be a top 25 community in the country by 2025? So what we're going to do tonight, this is the start of a long journey. So, okay, everybody's going to know nothing's going to happen overnight, not 1 year. This is a journey. It's going to take a long time. But I can tell by everybody here, I think everybody shares the passion for change and wanting to do that. So our agenda today is outlining the start of the process. So we're going to talk about a case for change. Okay, and it's very important. It's change management. A lot of different type of organizations use change management tools, but the first thing you need to do is say, where are we? And do we all agree with it? Don't have to accept it. You don't have to like it. But they're facts. Okay, we got to start where we are in the facts. So tonight we're going to start with that. Then we're going to talk about what is the process we're going to facilitate with the community. And so we're going to describe the transformation process and what we're going to be doing to put together as a community and own it, share it, the new vision, strategies for the greater region. Okay, so we feel like we need the citizens, because we don't have, as citizens, we're not bound by boundaries that maybe are set up with whether a city or the county or the like. We all own this region. So we want to set that together. So we're going to discuss the process to get there. Really critical are shared values. We've had groups working on this, so we're going to have a team come up and talk about shared values, and we'd like the community to embrace these, because this is how we're going to work together. And you have to have values you share to lead a process and run a process like this. We're going to talk a little bit more about engagement of the community, how we want to take things forward. We have some question and answer. And then we have a discussion period. And when you see it, I hope everybody picked up like sticky notes and the like. You're here, we want feedback, we want ideas, and after this in the lobby, we're going to have ability to provide some of that feedback. Okay, so that's what we'd like to do. So a little bit more, why do we think the transformation process needs, or why do we need to transform Rockford? And this is kind of highlighted. We don't think the trend as a community, as a region we're on, is acceptable. We don't want to accept that. It doesn't have to be our destiny. It doesn't have to be what we end up with. I can tell by everybody being here that I don't think you want that either, right? We want something better. We need transformational change, dramatic change. Incremental change isn't going to do it, so we need to come together and really lay out the things that will take us from where we are to a top-tier community in the country. And we're going to discuss what that looks like, how to get there. I just want to highlight, this is a proven process. Taking it to the scale of a metropolitan area is a challenge, okay? But it works, and I tell you, it works, and we're going to ask for a lot of participation. It's a challenge, and then please provide your feedback. That's really the biggest part of this, is get the community engaged. We want everybody engaged. We want feedback. We want joint ownership. It's our future, and we want to drive that. So what I'd like to do is move to some of our sub-teams that have been getting us ready to go. The first up is going to be Case for Change, and I'd like to introduce Bobby Holsworth, who's going to start us off. She's with Holstrom and Kennedy, and is going to help walk us through Case for Change for our community.